I'm Sal Brinton. I'm the President of the Liberal Democrats and also a member of the House of Lords in the UK. And with me is...
Christine Jardine. I'm the MP for Edinburgh West.
And we're delighted to be able to contribute to the 10th review of the Liberal International Human Rights Bulletin. And we're looking today specifically at how women fare in the United Kingdom. And 7 years ago, the Liberal Democrats introduced a leadership programme for women and some other underrepresented groups to make sure that they had coaching and mentoring and support when they went for seats and then when they went for election. And I'm delighted to say that Christine was on the first scheme. So Christine, how was it for you?
Well, I'm here. Not only that, but right at the very beginning, when the programme was being set up, I was on a Future Women MPs weekend with Layla Moran, who is also here in Parliament now. So I think it shows that getting out there, having programmes like the Leadership Programme, giving women confidence, giving women somewhere where they can feel that they are part of something specifically for them does make a difference.
And I think one of the things we found is that quite often women will hold back because they expect to be perfect when they go for a role, whereas men will storm in regardless. And I think one of the other interesting things that we've discovered is that our graduates from the leadership programme have not always ended up in Parliament. We've got one who has become the leader of the Welsh Party. We've got a couple of others who've now got very senior roles on party committees. So we're also encouraging the improvement of women within the party structures as well. So apart from the very practical things about these courses that we've run, how else do you think we can best encourage women to come forward and take up politics?
I think it's the Madeleine Albright thing. There's a special place in hell reserved for women who don't help other women. We get out there, we talk to women, we say, look, it is possible. If I can do it, you can do it. And we encourage them to be confident. More Future Women MP weekends, more weekends for women just to find out about what it involves in terms of time, the skills they'll need, and just be positive about having women. The more women that women see in politics, the more the women who are likely to go into politics.
Absolutely right. I'm always delighted when members of the public say, I'm voting, and I'm voting for you because you're a woman, because women died to get the vote. And that is always a good reminder for us. Not that I'm voted in the House of Lords, because I'm afraid we aren't yet an elected body. Finally, facing discrimination or harassment. Any particular tale you want to bring up?
There is a lot of it out there. I'm not unique. I'm just one of just about, I would say, every candidate in recent years has faced it in some way or another. Some of the harassment during the Scottish referendum, politicians were followed by people with cameras, not from the press, but from the other side of the referendum, just taking the picture, harassing them, shouting at them when they were trying to talk to members of the public. We've had online abuse. We've had people being threatened. I mean, some of the racist abuse that Diane Abbott had to go through, well, she didn't have to go through it, she did go through it, has been appalling. And I think what we just have to do is talk about it. One of our MPs taught me a very good trick. If somebody says something really nasty to you on Twitter, retweet it, call them out on it. They do it on Facebook, call them out on it, and let them see that you're not going to be intimidated by it.
Absolutely right. And although I haven't stood for Parliament since 2010, I also faced discrimination, and one of my main opponents actually stalked me and harassed my colleagues and was convicted of 67 crimes for doing that. Before social media, of course. Nowadays it tends to be social media. So what do the Liberal Democrats do about it? Well, one of the 6 competencies that we say all our candidates for Parliament must have is resilience. And we train our candidates in resilience because often the name calling is about your role as a candidate, not about you as a woman. And you have to learn to develop that shell. And Christine's absolutely spot on. Call it out, because actually so many people will come to your aid, it makes it all worthwhile.
When you came to see me when we were campaigning in Edinburgh, I had a particularly nasty incident where I was accused of campaigning on a day when there was no campaigning, and I'd actually been at my husband's funeral, and I called them out on it, and this got into the papers. And you and I were there, and a woman I had never met before got up from her seat at this cafe and hugged me. because she had seen it in the papers and she wanted me to know that she was never going to vote for them and she was going to vote for me. And that meant a lot because actually the public do care. And we might think they don't care, but one of the things that helps you through is when you realise that they care and they don't want the people who are intimidating you and being nasty to get elected.
Absolutely right. So let's end on a positive note. You have in front of you an MP who has made it despite the barriers and discrimination. And I hope that in some small way the party has helped given you that resilience and the skills you needed to be elected.
Oh, in a big way.
Absolutely. And I know many of our sister parties across the world are doing the same as well.